Welcome to the live. I am Miss Marie, and this is Giving It to You Straight. Let's sound out to the sacred and divine spirit of all there is. Happy Wednesday. I have the awakening soul plus questions, love, and finances or career. Let's find out what the universe, what the energies are for you guys today, September 17th. Happy birthday to all Virgos that are celebrating today. May your day be full of bliss, joy, happiness. Happy and healthy day to you all. And celebrate, have a good time, and just enjoy this beautiful, blessed day. The divine has blessed you one more day. Make it a great one. We are going to get started here as we sound off. And let's see how truly awaken, how you've been evolving. Are you growing more spiritually aware, awaken? And, what are your intentions from Aries to Pisces? Let's find out. Please have faith in all you do. Believe in yourself. Strength and courage. Strong values. All right. When you have the resilience to face any adversities, the strength, the courage. Just keep in mind that sacredness is within you and how the law of attraction works, the rhythm, the cycles of time, any principles, how to find more peace and balance in your life, and how to understand the principles, all right, the hermetic principles, and how to just find that and appreciate and embrace for, when you're going through grief and pain. Remember that they're only temporary. The awakened soul, to awaken what's truly inside of you, to be the best version of yourself. Happy Wednesday once again. I am Miss Marie. You guys can call me Great Mama, and this is Giving It to You Straight. Come on, guys, say it with me. That, of course, in the spirit of love and the spirit of gratitude and appreciation. Thankfulness for you all. Thank you so much for being here. One more. Pisces through Aries. If you guys have a question, please come on in. Good morning, Spike. How are you? Good morning, good morning. Yo, what's up, yo? One more between. From Aries to Pisces. Aries, the perseverance card. I'm going to move forward no matter what challenges are in my way. I'm looking towards finishing what I started here. One more. Hi, Julissa. Welcome to the live, sweetie. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. One more between Aries and Pisces. This is the awakening. So let's see how truly you awaken. Remember that you all possess spiritual gifts, power, and God, the source of hope, life, light, and love. What's keeping you anchored? Here we go. Let's get it. It is September 17th. Happy birthday to all the Virgos that are celebrating today. May your day be full of bliss, joy, happiness, and divine guidance. So leadership, absolutely. Aries. So today, the queen or king, depending on where you at, right? She represents, that strength. So in a world full of roses, be a sunflower. You represent that queen of wands, your expertise, your confidence, work, finding the balance between home and work, whether you're at home, whether you're in a place of leadership, and what are you demonstrating to the world today? How are you communicating? Are you being clear with your intentions? You might find yourself that your leadership is going to be necessary today, whether at home or whether in your workplace, your well-being. It's all about inspiring others, how to be supportive, especially when we don't feel like it, when we got to step up, to own it. All right. So you represent that leadership quality, that the lion. All right. The lion could be, of course, your spirit animal. How do you manage? Like it's like when I get the lion represents courage and strength, but he also, or it, the lion is protective, either being too demanding or too overprotective. All right. So just have that balance between like taming the animal, right? Because we all carry the animal within us. How to tame it, how to, you know, not let it overpower us, overtake us, okay? And especially when we're in a position of leadership, don't let it go to your head, how to be humble, right? And how to just help others. So anyway, you represent leadership here. So at the end of the day, those are the qualities that are within you. Just know that you hold immense power here, whether it's in your family or in your workplace. All right, using your expertise to help others to build, to grow, to heal. Let's move forward. Tauruses, Tauruses, you have grounding. I tell you, when I shuffle these cards, they give it to me sign by sign. I thank you so much, the divine and sacred spirit. Ancestors show up, and let's keep them. Let's pave that forward. Okay, let's bring them present. Grounding, Taurus. Okay, so grounding is a practice that we do. Okay, when we stay within a home frequency. Okay, it's like when you order something and you're not there to receive it. Okay, so when we grounded, not that grounded you down to earth and all that, but to be really grounded, to stay rooted, what's keeping you anchored, your values. Remember, you represent the house of value, your beliefs, your relationship, your purpose, what provides you stability and security. All right, during challenges. Okay, so today it's all about grounding, making sure that you either do some journaling, which is very important, some meditating. Create a space for yourself, a sacred space where you could bring all your things that you value, all right, and how to have that balance between that. But grounding is very important because it gives you a sense of balance and peace within yourself. It allows you to help others as well, all right. Grounding is just not that where you could just sit there and just connect quickly. No, this requires practice and it takes time. And just to be to stand up straight, to have that confidence. Meditation and also breath work, right? It gives us self confidence. You build on that. And with that being said, okay, just remember to stay within your home frequency so you can receive. A lot of times we meditate, we ask for things, we pray, whether we pray, we affirm things, and we don't stay there. We disconnect, okay? So just that's why it's required. That's why it's called practice. When you practice grounding every day, it's an everyday practice until you get it. Till you start seeing the universe moves, like the law of attraction will move the universe into the things that you want, all right? And so, especially the things that you value, okay? And so, your values versus your beliefs and your intentions, okay? So, remember, heal the root and the tree will be stable. Let's go ahead to Gemini. Gemini, compassion, all right? There's some misbehaving here. You see this little monkey? Okay, and so finding compassion with the people that are hard to deal with, the people that are like playing around trying to keep you guessing. So if I'm doing tarot here, the page of swords is gonna come out. Okay, instead of testing love and right, because when we get in trouble, right, or when we do things, hi Della Valle, my birthday, happy birthday, sweetie, happy birthday. All right, so just finding compassion for the people that are hard to deal with. Maybe you have children that are misbehaving. Maybe you're in a relationship where you might be misbehaving or the person is misbehaving. You're welcome, sweetie. If you have a question, go ahead. So anyway, today is all about compassion and how do I get that elevated emotion? Okay, how could I set a specific intention? How can I expand my consciousness? All right, to understand that people have faults. But anyway, the monkey's all about being playful and yeah, but it gets in trouble, right? Because it does things, right? Like monkey see, monkey do. I don't know how I'm gonna organize that energy, but remember, we share a lot of the 99%, they say, of our DNA with the chromosomes, with the bonobo. Okay, so we share a lot of that with them. How to tame that animal when it wants to play. How to not test love. So it's giving me a lot of different flexibility here. Aiming for flexibility and living with those boundaries. All right, whether it's you or with somebody else. Let's go ahead with Cancer. Cancer, you have fun. Okay, so here we show a lot of color. All right, there's a lot of color. There's a lot of diverse, okay, groups. Finding yourself with different groups of people, working with a lot of color, maybe painting, maybe doing something creative, using your creativity with that work. Or whether you just today, it's Wednesday, you might get invited out. You might find yourself in you could blend with all groups of types of people. So let's say if you're black, you could blend with white and Chinese and Arabic and Egyptian. You have that, you bring that energy, all right? You're not known to be just with one group of people, all right? It's to add color to the world. So yeah, whether you LGBTQ, which is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer. But anyway, at the end of the day, it's fun. Have fun. Celebrate yourself, your heritage, your pride. So today is all about, you know, changing the narrative, painting a new story, changing your perspective on things. However you are addressing anything today. Let's go ahead with Leo. Leo, you have the truth. All right, your throat chakra, detoxifying. There are some things that you might want to get across today, Leo. You could be in a relationship, Leo, that you might not be speaking your truth. Like it's like one of the things about the queens and the kings, they very assertive, right? They speak their truth and it clarifies and it purifies the ethers. All right. When you have this, it's like when you don't speak the things that you want, you hold that, you suppress that in, and that causes you, it gets you your mind, it gets you sick. Okay, so maybe by you detoxifying the throat chakra, maybe doing some practices with that, using some singing typing bowls, some tuning forks to get, because there's something that you're suppressing, all right, here, especially if you're in a relationship or maybe you're a leader here in a group, or maybe just I get this a lot when we're in relationships, you know, when we don't speak our truth to the things that we really want. Because I know that I'm very, when I'm open, when I'm growing, when I'm evolving, when I'm not suppressing the things that I want, all right? How to be you know, more conscious, aware of what I speak, or maybe you just say things at the time, and then maybe they come off wrong. Okay, so just practice a lot of the frequency. Get into the frequency of the throat chakra, maybe to find the healing and find the right words to say. To speak up for yourself, or or just to watch the way things come out because people take them the wrong way. All right, how to assert yourself, how to find that the words. Basically, while we're practicing some kind of meditation or just some kind of and just some tuning in. So you say, listen, you show the universe a different or a different vibration, or to show you something different. Get into a different frequency. Use your words to empower. All right. A lot of times our words, we could become so either sometimes we suppress too much and we don't say what we really want, and then when we say it, it'll come out wrong. So just practice a little of that, going within. All right. And that's basically it. When we don't speak the things that we want, we just all right, meaning it, mentally, all right, and that could affect the things that you want to do, all right, especially if you're in a relationship. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Let's go ahead and move forward to Virgo. Virgo, you got meditated. Meditation. She's sitting on the lotus, right? Is this a lotus? And when you have consciousness, when you repattern your consciousness, you're giving yourself permissions to be a new you. When you focus on a specific intention, okay. Meditation is good. A lot of people really can't sit and meditate. So I'm gonna focus on the flower, on the lotus, because it goes through murky waters and it survives, harsh environments. Right now, a drop of water stays on this lotus blooming to growth. All right. So today is all about maybe doing some kind. Maybe you want to get into this practice and you ain't able to. All right. How do I sit in meditation for even just set a 2 minutes? Start with 2 minutes. However you could get there. Okay. Visualize things. Set a nice quiet space for yourself. So practice some meditation, breathe work, just a little bit. Don't like give yourself like 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes each day until you get to that state of consciousness when you shift and you shift consciousness and you raise your vibration by meditating and practicing. Everything's a practice until you get it, until you perfect it. All right. So don't get overwhelmed that you don't do it. All right. So anyway, meditate and just find some time so you can understand the rhythm and flow of the universe. Okay, and how you elevate more emotions. All right, because a lot of times we so focus on the it's all about expanding your consciousness at the end of the day, but a lot of times we're so focused on the end goal, or we're so focused on have to get this work done, or I got to be perfect, and none of us are. Let's go move forward to Libra. Libra, you got family, family, but this family is different. Okay, this family is different. So the elephant, it could be your spirit animal. This is having the same sex relationships, or just having somebody support if you find yourself being a single mother. See, the elephants, they stay together, especially the women. All right, so these represent the woman in your life. Okay, maybe you get into either you're a single parent, or maybe you get into the point where you want to have children, but you don't have that strength, that support from a mom. Okay, yeah. Okay. Welcome, welcome, Miss. All right. It doesn't have to be a same sex. It could just be somebody that's supporting, maybe a sister or mom. Remember, the elephants, they stay together. They stay in these in groups. Okay, and they go through. They travel together. They don't let each other. Handle things alone. Okay. However you handling things alone here, Libra. Okay, we all have family issues. I want you to guys to start seeing yourself as part of the whole existence. All right, when we don't feel like we have that help, that support, you know, there's a we limit ourselves to the many doors that are opening, because the universe, or the world should be your whole family. And I know that's hard to understand, but when you practice that, you understand that everything's helping you. It's like breathe and knowing that your life is impermanent. That's everything's helping you. So family is not just the two and the four, the six people that you live with. All right, you can find support, but use that animal as inspiration. And just I like to watch a lot of the Animal Channel, and history, and find out a little bit more. How could how could you go about my life when things are not so well? My family. Why do I have issues with my parents? Why can I speak? Or because you may be so loyal. There's a lot of different uh, degrees. G5, thank you for coming. I see that you still hurt. I see that you still hurt. I feel I'm gonna continue to pray for you, sweetie. I see that you still hurt, but I like it. Come on in, G5. I appreciate you being here. Let's go move forward to so remember family, so if I value family here, how do I take my time to find more time, quality time versus quantity? All right, so my balance between work and family is basically what I'm seeing here. Let's go ahead and move forward to Scorpio. Scorpio, you got sanctuary. Okay, so finding, a lot of times we create our little own sanctuary. So she got cards there, she got shells, she got a cup of tea, or hot chocolates getting cold, some books there, crystals, cards, books. She got a little charm there, her little cat. All right. She has her little soap lamp. So anyway, finding a place today where you could study, where I mean, maybe you finding yourself, this is an older person, you know, maybe you're taking your time not to study, or maybe going back to school, finding your own little quiet space, after the kids are, if you have kids, right, to study something new, to just to study, just sanctuary. When I build my, like, creating a sacred space for you so you can learn, so you expand. It's all about, at the end of the day, expanding your consciousness. When you're expansive, when you expand your consciousness, you could affect your reality in a very powerful way. Okay. And so when you take that time to create your sacred space, finding time, during the day, maybe an hour or so. All right. So this is you, this is getting into maybe, the water that's behind it is still, right? So how do I deal with my emotions, the highs and lows of the emotional, by taking some time and creating a sacred space, when that water is still, you know that everything's okay. But what about when those tides rises real high? You know, how do I connect then? How do I bring more awareness into my thoughts? And how do how do I deal with my strong intuitive and my and that, you know? And yeah, so today just find that place. Let's move forward with Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you got action, the arrows of truth. So the horse represents freedom, my spirit animal. But remember that the horse, two things about the horse. They get ownership, okay? They're not really, really free because they get, people own horses. So they're not really, really free. How do you have somebody that's not this, you're not my owner, okay? How do you keep the man, why is it going there? Because it's giving me something else. As soon as I pick the the archery, you represent the archery, but when we're not free to do the things that we want to do, when something holds us back, all right. So if you're in a relationship, right? Because how do I find time for me so I could pursue the things that I want to do? How do I go after the things I want to? Because remember, the horse has to be kept, in a barn, given food and taken care of, you know. Uh, so it's going somewhere else. I don't know. Let me see what's going on here because I can't seem to get past this. All right. Okay. So we got the hangman. Let's go ahead. I'm going to cut it there. Let's go ahead for Sagittarius. What's going on? I want to give a little bit more than the Sagittarius. You represent the half half horse, half man. How do I tame that lower part, the part that wants to be free, but the part that wants to love? All right. One more. One more. Thank you. Uh, there you go. The King of Wands in the reverse. There's like something that I knew it because I'm like, what is going on, right? Live. The King of Wands. All right, so when the King of Wands, he becomes jealous because it's like, wait, what's going on here? They're trying to say something to me because it's like I want to hold somebody against their will. When I get upset, like when you get upset, like people are not property, okay? Like horses, you could take, you got to take care of them. You got to put them away. Like if you're in a relationship, how do I not become so demanding and put some demand and freedom to others to express, to do things? How do I build trust? All right, because he's passionate, about family, being successful in life and take care of them. How do I cope when others want to be free? When I'm in a relationship and I want others to be free because, he could be domineering, right? He wants to have the control here because I tell you, when I see this, we're like, they try to take me somewhere else. And sometimes I got to pull that energy back. So I have to confirm it right here live. Like they give it to me like this. But anyway, how do I let myself at the same time trust when we build in a relationship, right? The things that I value, all right? So if I value health and fitness, right? Because this goes into working out at the same time, all right? The horse needs freedom to do the things that it wants to do, okay? But it really can't, all right? So it's metaphorically saying that it has to be watched, it has to be protected, got to be fed, it got to be taken care of. That's how a relationship should be. Some horses they run around, but they get guarded. All right, so people are not. But what I'm trying to say, people are not animals. Okay, you have to either free. So if you let something go, if it's meant to for you, it'll come back to you. Okay, and so that's pretty much. I'm gonna move forward. I'm losing the connection. I just wanted to verify why we can't hold people against their will. I don't know. Something to that. I'm like, what in the world's going on? It's too early. I don't want that right now. All right? Breaking doors and just, I don't know. It's taking me it's to different areas here. I'm like, what in the world's going on? All right? If you want freedom, If you value your freedom, if you want to be free, how do I set myself free? If something, you feel like something's holding me back, how to find that. It's all about finding that balance, the attitude, the things that you value, feeling safe, just being true to the people that I love, being true to yourself, but it requires action. Because words without action or faith, right? When you release faith above your feelings and your emotions, right? You release that faith and knowing that your reason once accepted something to be true. I can explain it to you in that way. And so once you do that, no matter what you're feeling, no matter what, because something could be racing to your head, like, oh, they doing something when they're not with me, right? So this is going somewhere. What's up? Hey, Albert Aguilar. Let's move forward because it wants to go into a story. And I don't know if there's a Sagittarius here or somebody needs to hear. People are not property, okay? And so, so there's something going on here. Let's go ahead. Let's move forward. I want to move forward. I'm not staying stuck with the energy. Whew. Okay. Let's go ahead to Capricorn. Capricorn. Setting boundaries. Why is it so healthy to set boundaries? All right. Because sometimes we could go on extreme. All right. And that causes connection. So they want you to do is aim for flexibility and to live within those boundaries. All right. How to find the balance between the boundaries that you set. Okay. Do you have blurry? Okay. Or brick wall boundaries when it comes to affection and love here. All right. Do you say yes just to be nice? To stay close? All right. Or do you build walls saying no to everything to feel safe? All right. Either those extremes are going to cost you your relationship. So aim for flexibility. Yes, you're an earth sign. Yes, you get that energy of being resilient and the ability to survive and how to between the material and the emotional world. Okay, but sometimes we get caught up. We go through this rage or we just let people in, right? No putting no boundaries. Even with friends, but this is going more to the emotional side, okay? The heart. Open up your heart, to receive. It's okay, because at the end of the day, we go between pain and pleasure, which that's what your card represents. Am I gonna experience pain? Pleasure. You're gonna get them both. All right. But anyway, they want you to be flexible within your boundaries. Set little realistic boundaries, okay, within your relationship. All right. Start with something small, something that you could really do. All right. A lot of times we set these big boundaries. Either we make them so big that then we can get our way out of it. But since you're the goat, you could climb your way out of any situation by, you know, speaking your truth. I'm gonna leave it there. Let's move forward with Aquarius. Aquarius, the world connection to the spirit realm, connection to water, connection. Well, you represent the water barrier. All right. So the water barrier, he has to drink the cup. The water bearer has to drink the cup, and what you represent, the water bearer has had to drink the cup before the king had to drink it. So he had to test that water. All right, I'm just gonna give you that a little bit. And so, anyway, finding your mediumship here. How do you connect to the spirit realm? All right. How do you devote some time to it? Your connection to your mediumship, and so, but this represents your emotional self. All right, your capacity to experience and express emotions. All right, and so when you see she's standing in water, right? How do you do that? You see that? Or she's on the other side of the water. Okay. But anyway, if you be too careful when it comes to your emotions, right? Like to that side of you, because we gotta feel. We become ice. We become cold and detached. Remember, you represent air, so air moves the water right through the gravitational pull of the moon. So anyway, connecting to that mediumship or connecting to something that's so because water, remember, water is healing, but water it can be contained. Okay, it can't. So when you're dealing with all those emotions, what do you do with it? How do I reach out? How do I find that balance between, my emotional and the connection to to the material. How do I stay? How do I keep that balance? Right. So today's practicing, connections, because we're here to connect at the end of the day, right? Oh, I'm out of here. Anyway, this is taking a little longer than it had to. And Pisces, you got release. All right. So you got the wounded bird. Pisces, you like to heal people. Okay. So once they heal, Pisces, you release them. All right. So you see the bird is here. It's like a mother bird. It takes care of the babies, but they let them go. Once they heal, all right, go. All right. So if you feel like, that you heal already, it's okay to go. All right. And if you heal somebody, let them go. All right. This is it. This is it. You came for that purpose. People are in your life for seasons and reasons that you beyond your understanding. Okay, so release. It's okay to let them go. And if you feel like somebody helped you, and it's time to go, that's it. The job is done. The lesson is learned. Let's go ahead to the tarot cards real quick, and let's see. Apologies for rude comments. Keep going. It's okay, G5. It's all right, sweetie. It's all right. I don't take nothing to the heart. All right? I don't take nothing to the heart. Listen, do I go off sometime? Oh, yeah. All right. I am human, of course. A lot of times we do things out of our out of character or out of our will. We can't control some things sometimes. So it's okay. Don't bother me. Let me see if I can get a quick tarot card. Abel Aguilar, what's up, gang? Gang. Here we go, one more. Growing and learning and collaborating is what it's all about. Finding the middle ground. Even if we completely disagree, how can we reach that common ground? By acknowledging shared beliefs and interests. We build on that. Aries, you got the World card. Something that you thought that was going to happen. Maybe it could be a closing on a house, a relationship that was going to go somewhere. Or maybe you feel like you're ready to expand your consciousness. All right? So life, we already know that it organizes itself from the four corners of the earth. And through that, especially with the sun, all right? The biological clock. Maybe your biological clock is ticking. Maybe you want to have babies or whatever the case may be. Maybe you didn't fulfill some dream here, or maybe you want to go back to school, all right? But this is closure. Maybe bringing closure to a relationship or ready to hear the people in my life, all right? Maybe you got family across the world you might want to go visit. Whatever it is today, all right? Do it, all right? Reach out to the people. Be like that, like the coral reefs, all right? When they're ready to release those eggs, they expend billions and billions of eggs and birth and give life. Anyway, let's move forward. I think I picked up the cards in the reverse. It's okay because they're telling you here, I should have started in a way. Let me start again. All right, maybe you don't want to connect with people. Connection is what we hear. Let me shuffle again. Let me start with Pisces. And then let me finish. Let me see how much time I got. Yeah, I got 10 minutes. I know I'm not going to be finished in 10 minutes. I'm glad that nobody got the shadow. I was surprised that a lot of people are really studying. And I'm going to throw some words out here. And you guys, want to go look. Believe in yourself and go study. Go look into it. The world, it's open to things. There's libraries, there's books, there's a lot of ancient knowledge that we're not aware of. And those that look, they find it, period. Don't limit yourself. Be mindful, pay attention. All right? Practice is key. Don't try to figure it out in one day because it's not going to happen. Let's go ahead. Pisces. Oh, well, you got it. All right? Pisces got the 9 of Wands, so you already know. We understand that card as unfinished business when we are so sensitive. And that's okay. I'm going to just say it, all right? Because I know that some people say, oh, the narcissist. They say, oh, you're too sensitive when you're so defensive. See, we live in a world of avoidance, defensive, and denial. All right. So the card of perseverance always comes out. So if you value perseverance, I'm going to push forward. All right. Despite of the challenges, whether you're going to try to pursue a relationship that's unfulfilling, there's something that you must finish, something that you started. All right. Whether this is in another incarnation, this is another past life, right? We become wounded when we don't understand the energy that's inside of you. All right. We get hurt because we don't understand that there's lessons that we're going to learn. All right. But anyway, so this is saving. You could have unexpected visiting. This is you being prepared or overly stretching, or over apologizing, over forgiving, or anything like that. You're always ready to go. All right. So today they're telling you to step back and to approach the situation delicately. I'm going to move forward. Let's go to Aquarius. Aquarius, you got the Nine of Swords. There's a lot of nines here. So the Nine of Swords, you already know. You could have a lot of things going on today. You could be, listen, you could, that in the nighttime, this creeps in, these thoughts. The thoughts. What if? What's the worst that could happen after this? What's the worst that could happen? Well, let's say the person is living single. I mean, what fears? I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. When fear steps in, you got to counter your fears with faith. How do I get a good night's sleep? I got so much going on in my life. This begins from picking up, like in the middle of the night, man, I got so much to do. It could be nothing going on. Maybe you just got a lot on your mind. There's a stress, anxiety, worry. But basically, when spirit's talking to you, when the sacred and divine spirit, the sacredness that's inside of you, how do you know it's them? How do you pay attention to your dreams? Right? Because this card represents premonitions, things that you're not really understanding. All right. How do I understand what the divine is trying to say to me? You know. But anyway, you already know the little bed there that has, these two warriors, people begging, please. What does that really, really mean? What does the zodiac sign, the blanket there, the roses, right? When, are we immortal? When immortality steps in. But anyway, so the nine. The nine is all when we almost close we're close to the edge. We're gonna finish something. All right. I'm gonna leave it there. Let's move forward. The Five of Swords for you, Capricorn. So the Five of Swords, there is existential fear. You got two warlords and you got a Sen priest stepping up. All right. So today, how do I get in the middle? Find conflict and resolution. Do I step in when I see something, when I see people, in disagreement, right? How do I handle that? Or it could be me. How do I become three? All right? How do I practice the law of three? How do I get the neutral, right? The electron and the proton and become neutral? How do I do that within myself? How do I find that resolution, that conflict within myself? So I could be handling my finances, people at work, you're going to, because the sword basically represents the way I process information. But the thoughts, the powerful thoughts are your actions. All right? Do you finish? Do you get across your word? How do I get my words across without coming out, rude or disrespectful? Or do I just walk away and I'm like, you deal with it. I'm not going to deal with that. All right? How do the words that you say affect your mood, right? How do I have that balance, myself and other people? All right. So anyway, how do you handle conflict when conflict comes in? Because in the world, there are going to be people that are rude, that are going to be nosy, that are going to be, we're going to come across people. But how do I handle them? Do I have the right words to say? How do I change my focus? How do I walk? Do I tell people, like this goes on and on. Do I tell people if I'm in a relationship where I'm going, right? What are the battles that I'm fighting? What do I deal with these clouds that I scatter, which represents, right? They change within time. They change. So basically, life is changeable, unpredictable, and when we get into the battlefield, all right, you're just as good as your last battle, and so basically, when you go throughout the day, just focus on the good, and just try to see the good. And if you don't have the right words to say, don't say nothing. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna do the last card. I gotta go. The Page of Pentacles for you, Sagittarius. Okay. So the Page of Pentacles, you know that they ask you to embrace your youth, right? To remember to stay in touch with your intuitive feelings, you know, how to manage money, all right? How to, because they, you know, the red on it represents my survive, my state to survive. It represents grounded and rooted. And how do I turn, because there's a visionary for money, how to make more money, how to start my little business, right? How do I get things started? You know, the Page of Pentacles, he's a visionary when it comes to money. He understands the value of money, how hard he has to work, you know. Even in working out, whatever it is you got to do here, whatever practice you're getting into. All right. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I have to go. Time has creeped in, stepped in, and I have to go. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Hopefully I come in a little earlier. Remember, pages, they all represent the way we view the world, this new beginning. They represent news, information. How do I start over when it's awkward? How do I learn things? How do I take that time? Do I find that time? How do I progress? Or, you know, whether I see the effects on it, why things getting delayed. How do I put more effort into my daily life? How do I stay close? How do I examine my accomplishments? You know, what, you know, because remember, they deal with childhood, they deal with trauma. I mean, and you know, this is being passionate about the world. I'm inspired. I'm enthusiastic. You know, there's an idea. You know, So basically, they're telling you learn. We here to learn. We here to have the experience. How do I go from because like if I'm 30 or 40, how do I keep this child that's in me, the fire, the passion, so I don't get caught up with the world because the world really takes you and shakes you up, right? How do I keep him from getting assaulted, right? How do I keep that innocence in me? How do I become this, you know, the man, you know, the divine masculine? How do I incorporate that? Because I want to, you know, the part of us wants to play and have fun, and we have responsibility. So how do I have the balance between my child, you know, the inner child and the adult, you know, between the Peter Pan, you know, when life is everything's great, you know, but when you know, we were presented with life, and life goes, and it, you know, and it happens. How do I deal with the responsibilities? How do I set a new standard, a job, a family, a healthy relationship? How do I have the faith to network? Uh, how do I release? You know, how do I let go? How do I trust in God and the universe and parents? So we're not. So when we're born, we don't know who our parents are going to be. But we have the ability to heal ourselves, find ourselves, right? But anyway, we're going to look at AI on the next one because I really want to get to AI next. Because if we don't learn now with the new, the universe, well, the earth has created a new network, and if we don't get with that network and we don't learn about AI, either AI, and I don't want anybody to be scared, either AI is going to find a way to find themselves. So we don't want to be put in cages. This is something fun that we can look at anyway. And so, yeah, just be honest with yourself. Set a new standard. Every time you get the page of wands, yes, I got it. I know what I'm going to do. How do I ground myself? How do I anchor myself, my beliefs, my values, my relationship, the purpose, my stability, my security? You know, when life presents itself during challenges and uncertain times, you know, remember a boat has an anchor that keeps it in place. What's keeping you in place? You know, how do you find the freedom? Right? Do you believe in your magic? Do you know that the doctors, whatever you want to become here? But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Just always place your faith above your feelings and learn to live by faith. And so if you value courage and having a mental strength and practical fortitude to face adversity, wherever you find yourself, just move forward, you know, despite of your changing moods. And, you know, just try to become the best version of yourself and watch your powerful thoughts because those are your actions. With that being said, God bless you guys. And I see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys wholeheartedly. Have a blessed, beautiful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.